Chocks and Chocolates in between. Chocobird here for another video review. It's the Lindt Lindor Salted Caramel Egg. Yes, there you go. I assume it's salted caramel. It doesn't really, does it say anywhere on it? I mean, quite. I dropped it then, but yeah. But I'm sure it's, yeah, I'm sure it's salted caramel. It's hard to see on it actually, but it does have that blue of salted caramel. So, you know, I don't think it's the white chocolate one. It could be white chocolate. Who knows? We may well find out. But I'm quite sure the white chocolate one is a sort of gold colour. So I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, salted caramel, but we'll find out. But yeah, so it's very hard to read anything on there. There is some information here, but you know, good luck reading that. Lindt Lindor got some address there, but very hard to see anything else on it really. Yeah, I can't really see much at all. So who knows? Could be anything. There is a weight there, I think. Maybe I'll have to just put a caption of what's on there. It might say 28 grams, I'm not sure, but there we go. It's a bit of funny shape. It's more like a, I don't know, yeah, is it more of a hen's egg? It's definitely a more different shaped egg than Cadbury's cream eggs are. They're usually a bit sort of, maybe a bit stockier, Cadbury's cream eggs. I don't know if they're heavier particularly or not, but interesting. So there we go. There is like a, that on there, that barcode and things, but that's about it. Yeah, so there we are. So I assume it's salted caramel, but we'll find out. So normally I do kind of open these further down, but I think, you know what, this might be a bit of a quicker review really. You know what I'm like, I normally go on quite a lot, measure it and do all sorts of things, but I think this one I might just open it and then bite into it and then chop it in half that way, you know, to see what it's like. So yeah, all right, well, let's give it a bit of an open and see what it's like on the inside. Opens quite easy. There we go. So yeah, you can see it's quite nice actually, quite nice. It looks pretty good. Two halves for sure. See, it says Lindt there, it's got lots of flowers on. It's the tulips. The tulips anyway, could be wrong. It's pretty good because it's probably filled in from the bottom now and sealed. But yeah, I'll say this is Lindor, so Lindt Lindor egg. I think it's going to be basically similar to their actual Lindor product, but obviously in egg form. So really, it's basically just a giant Lindor. I'm just holding it like this just so it doesn't melt a bit. But yeah, so you can see it might be, I don't know, it might be sealed. It might be if you chopped in at half, there'd be two halves to it. But I don't know. I think the fact that it's going to be a Lindor truffle or what have you is going to be difficult to do. But we'll give it a bit of a difficult to sort of yeah, you know, might be two halves. We'll see. Maybe I should chop it in half. Maybe I should down that centre line. Let's give it a bit of a, yeah. You know what? I will. Let's move myself down. And I will chop it in half and see what it's like. See if there is a sort of gap there. So I think it's worth doing. So let's move myself down. Check it out further. Okay, everyone got this, yes, Lindt, assumably salted caramel. It's not white chocolate, is it? We can see that now. Salted caramel egg. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a measure down here. I wasn't going to sort of go rolling around. Wasn't going to sort of do anything down here, but I thought, you know, I might give it a chop down the centre line just to see. So I'll give it a bit of a measure here. How accurate? Hopefully it's going to be relatively accurate. About 5.3 centimetres in height. Diameter at the widest part, roughly. About 3.25, 3.3. So there we go, yeah. All right. Okay, let's give it a bit of a chop then. Chop it down this centre line here. Now, it might have been filled in from this side here where, I think Lindors tend to be a bit like that, don't they? But anyway, there we go. But I quite like the design of this. All right, so yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's a good job I did. There's nothing in that. Wow, that's terrible. Look at that. That is literally empty. I mean, this bit here is only from the bit that's chopped off here. You can see where the knife's gone through. That is literally empty. Wow, that is terrible. I was not expecting that. And it's a good job I did do this, you know what I mean? Look at that, that's literally empty. It is literally empty. I don't have two eggs to see if that's a mistake, but that's pretty poor. Goodness me, that is terrible. I've seen some poor half and halves in my time before on this channel, as I'm sure long-time viewers will know, but goodness me, never anything quite that bad. That is literally empty. That is empty. This bit here is empty. I cannot believe it. You know, I'm going to chop it down this bit in half as well, just to check there's no gaps in this one. Alright, so that is at least filled all the way. But goodness me, I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's literally empty, that half. Wow. Can't believe, I just cannot believe that. Can't believe it. That is terrible. Terrible. Quite oily, yeah. mint, by the way, these Lindor chocolates. But there we go. We'll bring it back with the truffle seeping through. But wow, that is really poor. I can't believe this whole half. Well, not even quite. Well, is it half? I don't know. But this whole segment is just empty. I just cannot believe that. That is just absolutely terrible. And I almost missed that. I'm glad I do it. This is why I do this on the channel. This is why I always take the effort to do this almost always. I rarely don't do it, and I almost didn't today. Sometimes like with these products, I think, well, I just thought I've seen the seam. I thought, you know what, I will test to see if there's any gaps. I was expecting a gap in between the two segments. I mean, this bit, it's quite flush there. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. I'm really not sure. But it's but it doesn't, as I say, it doesn't matter. It's literally, that is so poor. Wow, I cannot believe that. I really can't believe it. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, well, let's see how it tastes. And obviously we'll have to taste this side because that side's got nothing in it. But yeah, okay, well, let's see. And clearly it's not salted caramel. It's actually just flavoured, I guess. A bit of a salted caramel smell coming from it. Now come to think of it. Now I've calmed down from that, but just unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, well, let's lift myself up, as I say, give it a taste. Okay, everyone, well, we're going to give this, there's not much to show you here, this Lindt Salted Caramel Lindor Egg. I guess I could on this out and I can actually read what it says on it, can't we, really? So, yeah, there we go. And maybe I'll cut that in for earlier in the... A little bit hard to see, isn't it? Milk chocolate with salt crystals, okay. And a smooth melting filling, 40% with caramel. Could be 3%. I'm not sure what that is, what that percentage is. Quite difficult to read there, but there's the ingredients there as well. You can see it's got palm fat in there. Alright, there we go. Well, for what it's worth, there we are. So it is there. Maybe I'll cut that in further. I'm not earlier on in the review. I'm not sure. But anyway, but long story short is, one half of it. This is a dissection there. Cross section, what have you, was pretty, pretty full, but the other bit was literally empty. It's just empty, so, and that's half the egg, so you can see how it was like that, and that other bottom bit, just empty, just literally empty. Absolute madness, madness. So yeah, all right, well, let's give this one a bit of a taste. Since this has got caramel in, I guess maybe it's got caramel around the edge of the, around the edge of the cream in the middle. It's hard to say, but yeah, all right, well, let's give it a taste. Let's see what it's actually like. Very melt in the mouth feeling there, which just dissolves away. That Lindor does. I mean, cream Lindors tend to be quite sickly. It's too much that middle, really, and this one I just had a quarter of it, technically a quarter, half what the cream is really, because of the fact that the bottom's empty. But there's a bit of a sort of caramelly taste there, but not much. There really isn't. But yeah, quite sort of salty caramel taste, but it's really quite subtle. You might be expecting a bit more. As I'm sure it says there's salt crystals in there. I couldn't taste any consistency of salt crystals or anything like that. It's a slight saltiness to it, but there's no caramel in there that I could discern. Maybe there's a bit, but yeah, it's a pretty disappointing product, really. There's no salted caramel in there that I can tell, really. There's a slight salty taste to the Lindor, sort of velvety, smooth, melt in the mouth centre, but that just melts away very quickly and is gone. You're left with a bit of chocolate that's reasonably nice, but nothing special. It's got the same problems as Lindor tends to have generally for me. I prefer them in smaller contexts, like when they do the mini egg Lindors. They're just a lot better because the proportions are a lot nicer, I think, and just work a lot better. You get, I don't know, it just seems to get, I don't know, it just seems to work better, really. This one is a bit like regular Lindors, but just a bit more, just a bit bigger, really, and I'm not sure is any better particularly. But obviously there are a lot of people who love Lindors. I think they're really indulgent, really nice. I'm not really well, I do think they're indulgent, but I don't know, I feel like they're quite disappointing for me. They're just, the sense is just, it's just gone very quickly. I don't really feel like you get much substance from them at all, really, even though they are quite big. But this one's poor because of the fact that you can't really taste much of the salted caramel. And it's just, well, there isn't really any salted caramel at all, actually. There's no real salted caramel taste particularly. There's a bit of a salty taste, but not much. But the fact, as I say, this whole bottom bit was just empty over half the egg. And I mean, it could be this was a mistake and a one-off, but it's not the point, is it? I can only review what's in front of me. I'm certainly not going to buy things multiple times generally. Sometimes I have had more than one and I've been able to compare two, and sometimes, you know, some deficiencies in one and not in the other. But this is just half empty, and I mean, I can't believe, you know, they do things like weigh these eggs and things like this to check there's no problems with them, to check there's no, you know, metal in there and stuff like that. They do all this kind of stuff, you know. So this, you know, they should be weighing this and knowing just what it is when it leaves the factory. So to know if it's got missing anything or not, and I'm pretty sure they will do. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, yeah, I don't know. This is something that should have been picked up and it hasn't been, and so it's really poor. And I think it doesn't really deliver on what it's meant to be anyway. Even the salted caramel part, generally, if it was full, I think it'd just be. And to be honest with you, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. If it did have too much of that filling, it'd be just too much in there, I think, for me. But nonetheless, you know, if you bits it in half, you'd be very disappointed here. Now let me know, say, if you've had these and if it's been half empty when you've had it. But I don't know, I can't really forgive this really. So for me, it's not that great of a Lindor anyway. The salted caramel part's disappointing. It'd be nice if it actually had more caramel in it, or had some caramel, more distinct caramel anyway. You know, that was salted caramel, you know, as in runny caramel, something like that, as well as a Lindor Centre. Just something a bit more about it. But then the fact, as I say, that it's half empty, I think it's got to be, yeah. For it being half empty, you know, this could be just me being unlucky. But as I say, you know, it's not the point, is it? You know, as I say, if it's happened to me, it could happen to others. It certainly shouldn't have left the factory, and I have to give it a 1.5 out of 5. A really, really poor product. Not great, even without that side of it, to be honest with you, as I say, because the salted caramel, just there isn't any salted caramel that I can tell, and it doesn't taste that salty in the centre anyway. Very disappointing. Alright guys, well, let me know what you think of this one, what your experiences are, if you've experienced the same thing. But yeah, very disappointed for me. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Alright guys, take care, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. See ya.